I'm over here. Over here. In 2020, the Act respecting First Nations, Inuit, Métis children, youth, and families came into force. This Act allows for Indigenous services to work with Indigenous groups who wish to design and deliver their child and family services. Minister, according to the latest stats from Statistics Canada, over 50% of the children in care are Indigenous, despite representing less than 8% of the total child population in Canada. Also, according to the Ontario Human Rights Commission, youth from the child welfare system are also at much greater risk of becoming involved with the juvenile criminal justice system, a process referred to as the child welfare to prison pipeline. Indigenous people continue to be overrepresented in prison, as you know, with 40% of youth admissions in correctional institutions being Indigenous. In your new capacity as Minister of Indigenous Services, and we're...
Senator Coyle, I'm sorry. Thank you, Senator Coyle. Madame la Ministre.
Madam Minister.
Thank you. This is one of the priority files in my office as a minister. I believe that it is with urgency that we must act with our partners to address the children that are living with the reality of the impact of trauma in the community, with the challenges of being removed from home. I'm sorry, it's very personal to me because I am impacted by people in my family being involved in this situation. That's why, for me, I am going to speak to what I can. This is in front of the tribunal right now. I'm engaging, and I've spoken to many communities in the summer. There's an urgency. We have come up with a strategy that I think is going to respond to those needs. I want to let the Senate know that there is progress in this file. I'm committed, and my greatest priority is to meet the deadline that was put in place for December 20.
Senator Coyle.
Thank you. In the recent Auditor General's reports, Auditor General Hogan said that Indigenous Services Canada doesn't give enough support to increasing First Nations capacity to deliver programs and takes a passive and siloed approach to supporting those communities. With this in mind, and with the implementation of the Act that we just spoke about, could you provide the Senate with some examples of what your department is already doing to increase the capacity of Indigenous nations, communities, and organizations to deliver their own programs?
Madam Minister.
Thank you. First, I want to start with, I think that it is clear for me that the government is sending a strong signal of the urgency of ensuring that First Nations are able to make decisions for themselves in a First Nations context, working with a First Nations person. I think that this is a very strong approach. I'm very pleased to be a part of the government that's doing that. I myself, in all of my files, have prioritized ensuring that we respond to our partners in a timely way, that we ensure internally within the department that we are respecting capacity building as our key core competency in service delivery.